Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Now the RuneScape map is absolutely massive. There is more things being added every week and eventually we'll probably get it all filled in. And now as this game is about 20 years old now, there are some interesting areas that are either inaccessible or just really obscure that I don't think many people know about. So today I wanted to have a look at some of RuneScape's biggest mysteries and hidden areas. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, I always appreciate it. If you leave the video a like, always helps out with that YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much, and let's get started. Now I want to give a massive thank you to the wiki man himself, Spineweilder, for making me aware of some of these areas. Now I'm going to be using the detached camera plugin to find some of these areas. However, some of them I think you actually need an orb of oculus to see correctly. So for those, I'm going to be referencing a couple of images as I don't have the orb of oculus. Now let's begin here on Zaya. Now Zaya is a massive continent that was added 3 or 4 years ago now. It has a ton of content on it, has been reworked multiple times, and also has one of the most interesting inaccessible areas in the game. And that is a really interesting landmark just to the east of the Soul Altar, the champion statue. If you have the orb of oculus, you can actually click on it, and it indicates that you can even go down it. So I wonder what's down there, if it was ever planned to be an area, or just another feature in the landscape. Probably the latter. However, there was a mysterious key on the ground for years before they completed Darkmire, so who knows. Now the way you find this is first you have to go east through the Dark Altar all the way to the Soul Altar. Now once you are here, if you get just close to the edge here, you should be able to see something interesting in the distance over there. Now if we turn on our detached camera mode, we can hover over there. And here it is, just in the corner here, 2 champion statues and a trap door. Now if you had the orb of oculus and I think OpenGL mode for OS Buddy, looks like there still is one use left for OS Buddy, but regardless, I think you'd be able to click on it and it would tell you it's a champion statue. Now the next location takes us to the Temple of Ikov dungeon. Now this is a place I haven't been to in a long time, and definitely not since RuneLite has added in the GPU plugin. Now there is something of a hidden area down there. I don't know if you want to call it an Easter egg or hidden area, but it's there. Now once you've done Temple of Ikov, it's pretty easy to access it. You go down the Temple of Ikov dungeon right here. Now from here we're just going to go a little bit to the west and then down through the gate. From here we're going to go a little bit east and then north, and then we should see some ice spiders. Now I suppose this location isn't that hidden as it is, well, visible on the map. But once again, if we turn on our detached camera plugin, go a little bit over to the east, we'll see something really interesting. The terrain changes from a snowy area to a lava area, and this is actually the old King Black Dragon lair. For some reason, it's located right here. It's not even like a separate map, it is kind of just attached. Like we can see, it is part of this dungeon, even though the access point is in the wilderness. An extremely cool hidden Easter egg for those who remember the KBD Lair back from RuneScape Classic. Granted, it has been updated with modern graphics. Modern graphics. Okay, maybe not modern, but you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure that Mod Ash even stated that if one was able to get here for some reason, the King Black Dragon would spawn and you could even fight it. So I really do find it amazing that this is just kind of sitting here, sculpted into the dungeon, a relic of the past, and a really cool Easter egg in the hidden area. Now next up here we're going back to one of the most iconic quests in the entire game, and that is Monkey Madness 1. Now pretty much everyone completes this quest as the Dragon Scimitar is so powerful and it unlocks a lot of content. However, even within the quest that pretty much everyone does, there are some secret locations. Now the area I'm mostly talking about is during the final boss fight with the Jungle Demon. During the boss fight, there are trapdoors that let you go down to the biggest banana plantation in RuneScape. Pretty impressive considering they're all underground and I'm not really sure how they grow there. This is actually kind of useful because during the boss fight you could even get more food if you needed it. However, furthermore, down in the basement there is a cave entrance that lets you talk to a hidden NPC called Bonzara. Now, Bonzara's main purpose is to allow you to teleport out of the dungeon. However, Bonzara also has some really interesting dialogue that alludes to Monkey Madness 2 or maybe even Monkey Madness 3. Mainly this one line that reads, "We will meet again." And while we never ended up meeting Bonzara again in Monkey Madness 2, maybe Monkey Madness 3, who knows? Now, the theory that most people have as to why Bonzara is there is mainly to do with the fact that before a free home teleport was added to the spellbook, you were able to get stuck in certain locations, and Bonzara was a bit of a failsafe to get you out of there if for some reason you were stuck. Definitely not required anymore, but a really cool relic of the past and a fun little mystery for RuneScape. Now, the next secret area is located near Fossil Island, and unfortunately, with my puny detached camera plugin, I can't quite reach it. I don't have the Chad locator orb, unfortunately, so I personally can't even see it. Luckily, Spineweilder has a really awesome image of it. There will be a link in the description for his Reddit post. That said, it is visible on the map. Now, if we go a little bit to the northeast of Fossil Island, there is a smaller island located right here. Now, unfortunately, even with the GPU renderer on and the highest draw distance possible, I can't quite see it even from the closest location. It's just not quite visible. With that said though, if you do happen to have the locator orb and are using the OSBuddy OpenGL mode, you should be able to get there. Now, this area is an inaccessible island that essentially is a big reference to Castaway. There appears to be an object here called Wilhelm, which could be a reference to William the soccer ball. As well as we can see a broken raft here, some crates, and just generally kind of looks like a deserted island. A very cool location and Easter egg, and it's so hidden in fact that pretty much nobody, unless they have moderator tools or the orb of oculus, will ever be able to see it. Now, the next location here is one that will be accessible to everyone, and while I think a lot more people know about this, it's a really interesting area and again a relic from a bygone era of RuneScape Classic. Now, to get here you actually need an item, and that is the Disc of Returning. Now, essentially you have to activate this item when you're in a very specific location, and that is the Dwarven Mine in Falador. It won't work anywhere else, so for example if we go up the stairs here, try to activate it, you can only enter Thodor's Black Hole from the Dwarven Mine. Now that we are down here, we will be able to access the secret area. We can hit activate on the Disc of Returning, and we'll teleport there. It's a really interesting location. There's only one NPC here. Now, for a bit of history, this location used to be a punishment for players. Essentially, it would be a glorified timeout. If you broke the rules, you could be sent to the black hole, and you'd have to stay here doing nothing until your punishment expired. Nowadays, though, it's just a really cool tourist location that some players can go to relive old memories. Now, additionally, if you right click on it and click on Blackout, you can go to an even darker location. Essentially, it is just a more boring variant of it. Complete darkness, no stars. And finally here, I want to talk about a couple of really cool locations, only accessible via the fairy rings. The first location is the Enchanted Valley. Now, you get here with the fairy ring code BKQ, and it's a really interesting location. First up, you don't ever actually have to come here for no quest, no mini quest, no skilling activity, no NPC. Like, there's only one actual reason to come here, and that was added in more recently, a master clue step. With that said though, the Enchanted Valley actually has a couple of really interesting NPCs. The most interesting one being the Tree Spirit, which actually has a minor use for some Ironmen, having one of the most common drop rates of a rune axe. But this location is also filled with trees, stags you can attack, and other little critters. Now, another really interesting fairy ring code is that of CKP. Now, to be fair, you do come here once during a quest, but it has to be one of the most unique locations in the game, and that is the Cosmic Entity Plane. This is more of an honorable mention more than anything, but I mean, just look at this place, it's crazy. I think I might finish off some fletching levels here or something. It definitely is just one of the most unique locations in the game. Now, before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to Brad Sings, who just subscribed at my Dragon tier of YouTube membership. Thank you so much, man, it means a lot. I'm so shocked that even multiple people did that. It was meant to just be a flex tier. They're joining Tizdoc Bunny, Revolver Ocelot, and Kush Patel. But also another massive thank you to Heathen Lock Games, Base Titch, and Double Talk. Thank you for making the dream possible, guys. I really appreciate it. If any of you are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is an awesome way to do so. You can be immortalized in any of my videos, get a custom Discord role, and have access to my video schedule. Anyway, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time.